Into the fray! Ammo's out!
What's up? So this is our Maliwan Takedown build. This thing should be able to solo it relatively well or work well inside of a team environment. So you can rock it as the cryo shock variation or rock it as a corrosive one. If you do rock it as a corrosive variation of the build, then it's probably not a Thundercat Flak setup, but you know, it wouldn't really fit the name. Anyway, still work out extremely well. So let's hop right into it. One other quick thing that I just wanted to hop into, I went ahead and put a game save for this particular layout inside of the description below, but there's a password for it that's spread out across the video. You have to find each of the individual spots, but you can just download it. It works out well. So we have the lump right here. For those that are unfamiliar with the lump, you shoot it up into the air, and then each individual beam can proc Megavore as well as crits naturally. That's one of the reasons why we are rocking a Megavore crit Flak setup. This is pretty basic. There's nothing too extreme with that. We'll hop into the tree in a little bit, but each of these individual procs are going to allow you to get different things like leave no trace, which is going to give you back that ammo, as well as those head count procs, which is going to allow you to stay inside of fadeaway or get back inside of fadeaway, and it just allows you to do a ton of damage as well as be invisible and stay alive most of the time. Since we're invisible 90% of the time, we're not going to end up getting hit too much, which should circumvent the aspect of the Maliwan Takedown that they highlighted, where the enemies are going to be absorbing the shot as well as throwing it back at you, from what I heard about the Maliwan Takedown. But we'll see if that ends up being true and how that mechanic actually does work, or if that even comes to fruition. So rocking the lump, extremely good gun, probably the best launcher right now for Flak in terms of mobbing. Then we have the Shreddifier right here. The Shreddifier, we're going to utilize this when we're down. It could also work out against those different bosses that we are fighting. 9 times out of 10, we aren't going to need to use this at all. This is just an additional thing. If the modifiers do lean towards assault rifles, we can use this, and it would be able to put out damage that's pretty close to the Scourge if the modifiers are in favor of this particular Shreddifier. 9 times out of 10, though, we are going to end up just using the Scourge for our bossing. This is a simple Scourge. If you find a corrosive one, you can use that one instead of the cryo. Cryo doesn't give you too much of an advantage when we're fighting bosses. It actually does do a little bit less damage to armor. It does do a bit more damage to HP though. This one, you can see that the anointment is completely irrelevant to the setup. So you can find one with a good anointment, you'll be able to just eat through these bosses even faster. Right here, we're rocking a TDR. You don't need this TDR, but this allows you to run it with a Transformer shield and throw it at your feet and give you back your full shield. This is just an extra little precaution. You don't need it at all. I didn't use it inside this setup at all because we are invisible and our pet is tanking. So you can swap out this for another launcher or something else that you do like inside of the setup. We will be making like some slight tweaks to the build when the Takedown does come live, because we'll be able to get first-hand information, and we'll make like the little tweaks, and I'll put up another video for that when that does occur. So we're rocking this with the transformer. Transformer right here has ammo regeneration, so you want ammo regeneration or the action skill end on this or on this. You just want these in tandem, so that way they're working together pretty well. Like I mentioned earlier, shield refill, one of the best shields inside the game, hands down. And then ammo regeneration is going to allow us to have like infinite ammo on side of our Shrouded inside of our Shrouded Fire, and also infinite ammo inside of our lump. This is going to be coming through a lot more consistently, and then the ammo regeneration is just going to help out our Scourge and all of our other gear. So we're rocking the Mercuricular Hex. You can rock this as a cryo version if you do want to. This is going to allow you to get a little bit more AoE explosion, as well as a nice dot coming through. One thing that I did not highlight is that the additional cryo damage while terrified applies to all the stuff that you do end up doing damage wise. So this 50% additional cryo damage will give cryo damage to your grenades, as well as to racks, even your fire racks. It will be able to apply to that as well. I'm not sure if it does apply to the splash damage itself from the explosion. I had to play around with that a little bit more. That's something that you got to keep an eye out for and see if it does end up working. And we're rocking the Icebreaker Auto. One of the core reasons why we are running the cryo version instead of the corrosive is to add a additional layer CC that's going to keep everybody alive inside the setup, or just you and your pet alive, depending on if you are doing a solo run. This has cooldown rate inside of it, as well as shock damage, which is going to work out well with the lump. And then that extra magazine size is just going to help out. Okay, you would want to find something with maybe weapon charge speed or additional damage inside of the kit instead of magazine size. That extra 18% max health is okay. Look for one with a victory idol, but like I mentioned before, we'll be supplying this one to you guys, and there are like slight upgrades that you guys can find. This right here can be slightly upgraded, but this is probably top 10% of the dead eyes that you can find for the setup. You do want, of course, the Two Fang, which is the red one right there, which allows you to get those extra projectiles coming through. We have that heavy weapon damage, which is going to help you out quite a bit, as well as that weapon charge speed. That weapon charge speed is going to allow your lump to just rapid fire off and cuts the shot time down to about half, something like that. A little bit less. It's around like 2 seconds. Go ahead and shoot the thing real quick. 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah, about 2 seconds. So yeah, we have that aspect tied into the build. That additional 35% additional damage is not only going to help you chunk down the enemies faster, but it's going to allow you to freeze the enemies faster, which means that you just get even more damage from the cryo, as well as more CC coming through a bit faster. So amazing class mod for the setup. Reason why I wasn't running the Deadeye before is because my pet was dying, but with this setup, my pet doesn't die at all. Like 90% of the time it doesn't end up dying. I have run into like, I feel like it's bugs where the pet would end up getting clapped up, but we'll see what the case is when we run into the Maliwan Takedown. Maliwan Showdown? Takedown. Yeah. Maliwan Takedown. So let's hop into the skill tree real quick. Like I mentioned before, it's a pretty basic Megavore fadeaway setup. I'll flip over these real quick so that way you guys can see these, and we'll have timestamps in the description below so that way you guys can go ahead and click on these whenever you do want to fix up your tree. Yeah, it's like very basic skill tree. Rocking in Planetary Stalker, give you a whole bunch of damage, and the corrosive damage to the robot is going to help out quite a bit when you are rocking a Shredder Fire, or if you are using a corrosive element, Scourge, or a different gun. Also, a corrosive lump can work out well. Also, it really depends on the way the raid is set up, if we go corrosive or shock cryo. So leave no trace, of course, give me back that ammo. You have infinite ammo with this in conjunction with Megavore and your ammo regeneration. That counts for that cooldown. Two Fang, the extra projectile chance, just going to give you that one extra projectile. That is one of the reasons why high-powered weapons such as launchers give the most benefit from Two Fang, because you're only getting one extra projectile. So that's giving this about a 7,000 damage boost, not including the cryo. While if you're rocking something like the Desperately McGee, you'd only get a 600 damage boost right there. So that's one of the reasons why we do like Two Fang a whole lot. That's also going to work out well with Leave No Trace, as well as Head Count. Big game, just boost up everything. Most dangerous game, of course, more damage. This is going to keep us from getting hit a little bit. more damage of course, and then the Megavore just synergizes super well with the whole kit. We're rocking the Spider and Scorcher just to get that little bit of extra max health regeneration as well as a little bit more elemental damage. You can swap out this for this if you feel like you really need it, but I've never gotten hit hard enough to where I believe I need this. I barely get hit at all. We just maxed out on HP and health regeneration. That's going to help out our pet quite a bit. Pretty simple, more damage on my BFFs, so that way we get the nice little regeneration. And this is boosted up by big game as well. Lick the wounds. It's just something to catch you. You can put this 1 point into Eager to Impress if you do want to, but this has a lot of value with the 1 point. I've never needed it. Turn, tail, and run, course damage reduction as well as more damage, and then Fast and Furious. I value movement speed quite a bit, and it also gives you gun damage. Going into Hidden Machine would give you a cool little amount of extra damage, but it's not really anything too crazy. Rage and Recover won't really give you too much value because we're going to be at full HP most of the time, and then we're going to be regenerating off of the pet's HP because the pet's going to be regenerating off of its own HP because we're going to be at full HP. So this is not really going to give us too much value putting points into this right now. And then we put the 2 points into here. Of course, this is super duper basic. Gives you the extra gun damage as well as the extra duration. And then while you are invisible, you'll be able to pick up your pet pretty freely or pick up someone that is down. So running inside of this setup will allow you to play like damage, utility, as well as support with the build setup. So we're not rocking Gorillas in the Mist. This is so that way we have a long duration for our fadeaway, so that way we are able to bring a little bit of utility, and we don't really need it. With the lump, direct shots do a ton of damage, while the shot up into the air, the final blast of that is not automatically crit inside a fadeaway, nor are the beams. All those are affected by Megavore, but the direct shot is affected by the big fadeaway shot. So if you do end up needing to fight a boss with the shock variation, just shoot them directly inside a fadeaway. So rocking the Not My Circus, this is going to allow you to get 80% damage reduction on your pet. Now the AoE for the taunt is not really that great, but the damage reduction is huge. Our pet is going to be the one that's going to get abused and beat up most of the time. So this is going to allow our pet to stay alive much longer. This with the additional HP buff that they did do a little bit ways back is going to allow our pet to become one of the best tanks inside of the game, especially with very low investment. And we're rocking this along with Unblinking Eye. That's going to allow us to get a ton of damage from our shots inside of fadeaway. It's going to help out our Scourge do a ton of damage, and it's also going to help out our Lump a little bit. The Lump doesn't really get as much benefit from Unblinking Eye as the Scourge does. So we're rocking these two in tandem, and that's basically the skill tree. That's really it, to be honest. So let's wrap it up real quick. If you guys end up running HP regeneration instead of ammo regeneration, you can still run that inside the setup and your pet will become even more insane. That might be an option that we play around with inside the Maliwan Takedown. We'll see how things go, and we'll see how things play out. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I'll do a updated video for the setup that I'm running through. I might try to end up doing the joint solo. We'll see how that thing plays out. It should be able to do solo. If some other builds can solo, this will definitely be able to solo 100% because we're invisible and we're tanky. It's just very disgusting. If you guys have any comments or questions about anything, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And if you guys have like a build or a setup for Flak that you guys want tweaked, or something that you feel like isn't all the way there for the raid, go ahead and let me know. I can try to tweak inside the comments. I can also like put out a little video for it, so that way it helps out you guys. And if there's something that you guys aren't sure about for Flak, I can try to put up something for that and try to help you guys out. I know there were a couple of individuals that weren't really sure where to go with Flak, like once they hit 50, and weren't really sure how to transition towards being able to clear Slaughter Shaft and that type of thing. For those people, I would recommend going for a TDR setup. That'd be something like rocking a TDR shotgun, rocking a transformer, and just get yourself a cut purse. Yeah, get yourself a cut purse and just rock a face puncher shotgun. That's going to allow you to breeze through and get you to that late game that you need and be able to farm up some stuff. As well as, well, I guess the people that have that question can just download this game file and then that issue will actually be solved. So I just talked about that for 30 seconds for no reason. Anyway, that's it from your boy. Feel free to support the channel with like a sub, like all that stuff. I might end up doing a Discord. I know that my content's probably going to switching up relatively soon to something a little bit more variety. But we'll see how everything plays out. But hey, thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Hopefully you guys have a good day and night. Yeah, any questions or anything, let me know. Peace out.